At that point in time, you can put on just the music and you can make it your own. You can add in different things to give it more of a local flavor. You can do it in French, for example. If you have French clientele, you can do the Rom dance in French. You can't so much with this one because it's in English, but once you know it well enough, you can actually say the words in French or have the lyrics beside you in French and have the music to accompany you. If you want to make it last more than 8 minutes because the residents really like it, I mean, these two last 8 minutes, no questions asked. There are a certain number of repetitions of each movement done. If you want to do more repetitions of one of the sequences and less of the other, you've got the music, you can do what you want with it. So it makes it very flexible in what you can do. The next program is the therapeutic dance program, and the first disc that you'll see is the training DVD. Again, this is not a DVD similar to the Rom dance and the Tai Chi. This is not a DVD to show the residents. This is to help you learn the movements for the different dance moves. This is not something that would probably be done in a nursing home. It's too advanced. It may be done in some retirement homes if the residents are advanced enough and safe enough in terms of their balance, and in community settings maybe they would be able to do it. Basically, this DVD, we hired a dance instructor to get a program together for us for the elderly. And she got 2 of her dance students, so they're dressed in leotard. They're 2 young girls dressed in leotard showing the different dance movements so we can all learn what the grapevine is and what a chassis is and what a crossover. We're learning all the different kinds of dance moves anyways in this DVD. And so this is a video that shows all the different dance moves. Again, because it's a video, if you go to your clinical policy and procedure manual, or in a community home, you go to your policy and procedure team manual in that program tab, the really big one. Again, we have, you may not see this well in the video, but that's okay, check in your manual. We've got sequential pictures of the different dance steps that are shown in the video, so that you can learn it by watching the video, and then you can have the pictures to remind you how to do some of these movements. Okay, we've got the Charleston, we've got all kinds of stuff in there. It's a great, great program. And if you look, there's also class plans that have been developed. So it tells you which tracks from the audio CDs, because there are 4 CDs that come. So there's warm-up and corner work, partner work, and routines. And behind the disc it gives you the names of the songs that are on that audio disc. So you've actually, these 4 therapeutic dance CDs, the audio ones, are great music to use for your group classes as well. You don't only have to use them for the therapeutic dance program, you can use them for your group exercise classes because it's great peppy music to dance to. I'm sure it'd be wonderful to exercise to as well. After that, we have another audio CD that we called the Big Band Bop, and this has songs on it from the big band era. So you've got, you know, Jimmy Dorsey and Duke Ellington, and you've got Glenn Miller, Louis Armstrong, Jeepers Creepers, those kind of songs, and it's mostly big band music. The residents love that. It's from their era, right? Then you've got the Shake, Rattle, and Roll, which is more, it's another audio CD. It's more the Elvis Presley 50s and 60s type rock and roll. After that, you've got Sounds of Nature, and on there you've got Wonders of the Ocean, you've got Autumn Breeze, you've got Sweet Sounds, you've got Lunar Eclipse, Windy Day, there's birds in there, My Playful Friends. This is a great CD to play when you're doing Tai Chi or yoga, something more relaxing, or when you break out the pool noodles, which I'll talk about now. If you go to the dollar store, Walmart, Canadian Tire at the end of the season, you can buy, you know, the big pool noodles. You can cut them in half or into 3 sometimes. You need them about this long, so shoulder width, a little bit longer than shoulder width apart. I think cutting them in half is perfect. And each resident gets a pool noodle. You do have to wipe them down after the residents use them, of course, for infection control. But you can take them on a journey on the river. You can have them canoe hanging onto the pool noodle. You can have them row. You can have them kayak. You can take them on a journey. So, okay, everybody, let's get into our kayaks, and they have to do some hip flexion to get into their boat. and then take some nice deep breaths and do some stretches before they do the kayaking. And then you take them kayaking and you've got the Sounds of Nature CD playing, for example. And you can name the river or the body of water in your local area and say, let's go for a ride on the Mattawishquia River, for example, here in Hearst. And if it's during hunting season, you can say, oh, look, there's a moose and there's a hunter, and does anybody know how to call moose? And they can call a moose, and you can get residents involved. What other animals might we see when we're traveling down the Mattawishquia River? And then, you know, they can name some animals, and then, okay, well, we've gone as far as we can go on the kayaks. Let's get out, let's put our oar aside, our paddles aside, and get out of the kayaks. And now we're going to have to swim to the rowboat. You can make them swim, you can make them do breaststroke, you can make them swim back because they went too far, you can make them run to the next boat because there's a race going on, you can make them jump in the water, you can make them do all kinds of stuff. You can make them swat at the mosquitoes because they're in the jungle of the Amazon. You can go on to Google and check what animals would I see on the Nile, what animals and birds would I see on the Amazon, and you can, you know, teach them a little bit about the animals that they would see on those different bodies of water at the same time using the noodles for different things. What else? They can go fishing with the noodles if you want to take a break, or maybe it can be a moonlight rowboat ride and there's the fire burning, and can you smell the fire and look at all the sparks and the flames from the fire, and let's put our marshmallows on and roast our marshmallows. So they're doing some shoulder flexion isometric, and you can get them to hunt with the pool noodles if you're in an area where the hunting is a big thing. So you can get them to have that tactile thing, the pool noodle, and do something with it and take them on a trip. If you look at the back of your CDs, there's Tai Chi class clips from Pickering, and this is an actual Tai Chi class, the clips from it, of story Tai Chi, and there the Pickering physio team takes us on a story Tai Chi, so they're talking about bears, and they're talking about birds, and they're talking about babies, and doing the Tai Chi moves, but with holding a baby instead of the ball of energy. There's all kinds of things you can do, you just need to be creative. You can get a captain's hat and give the captain's hat to a different resident every class. So then he's the one or she's the one who decides what you're doing that day. Is it kayaking, rowing? What order is it in? What animals are you seeing? What body of water are you on? There's so many possibilities, and it keeps it interesting for the residents. Having balls, plastic balls that squish well, or sponge balls, they can put them between their knees and squeeze them and do Kegel exercises, which are great. The homes love it when we do Kegel exercises because it helps with the incontinence, helps with their core muscle strength as well of their trunk. You can get out scarves or bandanas, and they can do things with the bandanas. You can pretend it's cleaning day and you have to wash out the table and wash out the fridge and the windows and, you know, wring out the washcloth and all kinds of stuff. You can set the table and put the napkin up and use your imagination. Props help whatever you can. And so anyways, a little bit of a sidetrack there, but the Sounds of Nature CD is great because there are different sounds that can accompany your class if you're taking them on a tour. You can also make your classes go with the season. So if you're getting close to Christmas, you can make it, you know, a trip to the North Pole or something. You can, if it's Thanksgiving, you know, get them to think about the smell of the turkey and get them to stuff the turkey, or set the table, whatever. Different ideas. Then we have a DVD called The Chair Dancing Around the World. This DVD lasts about 45 minutes. When I did it for the first time with advanced residents in my nursing home, the warm-up was good enough, and it was a huge workout for them. I wouldn't suggest letting the residents watch the DVD. What you can do is you can set the residents up so that they're facing you, and behind the residents you're watching the television screen with the program that's playing, if you're afraid that you might forget some of the moves. And by you watching the TV, facing the TV, and the residents facing you, they don't see the TV screen, you're able to pace the program a little bit more. think part of the challenge with the chair dancing is it was a little bit fast for most of the residents. So, you know, when the lady was doing her stuff back and forth, and switching her exercises up really quickly, it was hard for the residents to follow. And so instead of doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you can do 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 while she's doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But at least you can see what she's doing. You can put on your own music. You can follow the music and do it at your own pace. So it's just another way to give you some ideas of things that you can do in your class. So the chair yoga I mentioned quickly with the Tai Chi, that once you watch this program, you can do some of the moves. It's a nice relaxing program. A lot of the ladies like to do the yoga, not so much the gentlemen. There are some, but mostly ladies. And once you learn those, you can actually do them and mix it up with some Tai Chi. And then you have Sit Down and Tone Up, which is a great little DVD. It lasts about 24 minutes. And it's basically taking weights and doing, you know, bicep curls and different things and doing reps. So you can take a look at that. It's more of a strengthening type class and get some ideas from there. I talked about the Tai Chi class clips from Pickering. And the last one I'll talk about is the Walk Away the Pounds for Abs. We're not trying to walk away the pounds for abs. This is actually because the way that this program is set up is when you do it for the 1 mile, it's 15 minutes. The 2 mile, I think, is 30 minutes, and the 3 mile is 45 minutes. So we would probably do the 1 mile one, but basically what they're doing is in this program, the music has a beat to it. And if the residents take a step with every beat, then at the end of the program they'll have walked a mile, which is nice to be able to say, I walked a mile today. And they're not only walking, they're actually standing behind their chair, hanging onto the chair, walking, taking steps. They'll stop and they'll do some squats, and they'll stop and they'll do some leg lifts, and they'll stop and they'll go up on their tiptoes, and then they'll walk. But they do it for the continuous 15 minutes. It's great for the heart, it's great for their balance and their leg strength, and it's great because they get to say that they walked a mile. So that's just an example of some of the programs that we have in the DVD set. Use them as much as you can. Incorporate music into your programs. Music is great. Some residents find the music to be a distraction. Other residents find that they love it. If there are a lot of residents that find the music to be a distraction, and you also have residents that like the music, you may want to have 2 different classes if you have enough residents in the group, whereby you do a group with music and a group without music. Sometimes you can just call your class Movement with Music or Music and Movement. When you do pool noodle classes, you can call them Oodles of Noodles, for example. And one of the things that we're currently developing is a Zumba type exercise class that I think we're going to be calling the La Bamba class. And that's going to be the Latin type music with all those Zumba type moves, so I think that that'll be fun for the residents as well. So we're always continuously looking for new ideas for exercises, and the reason being is the more we disguise our exercises as fun things to do with music, the more apt the residents are to attend and to participate and keep themselves fit and have fun while they're doing it. Wow, what a long, busy day we've had so far, and I do want to thank you for your patience in listening to all of my blabbering about forms and procedures. And if you're watching this, it may be because I'm not there with you in person, and I'm sorry that I couldn't make it down this time. And hopefully, well, I know that we'll meet in the future for sure. We hope to have a long relationship with you as a PhysioMed Peaks team member, and I do look forward to meeting you in person one of these days. And if you do have any questions at all about anything that you've seen in the video, please feel free to contact me or to contact support office and or Pierre, who you may have already spoken to as well. And we're always open and willing to communicate and help you reach your goals and to know the answers to the questions that you may have about any of our procedures or systems. So thank you once again for taking time to be with me during this video, and I look forward to meeting you one day.